Hey, 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 and welcome to another episode of Vibe High Fridays with Irina, where we are uncovering step by step how do we manifest the best life, and we are actually focusing more on the business these days. And I love to show you how can we use the power of our thoughts, our words and our actions in order to manifest exactly what we desire in our life. And the topic for today is super, super powerful because if you are in the space of coaching, if you're in the space of being the healer and you're building your business, this episode is exactly for you because today we are going to talk about what happens when you do the work, but where is that perk? But before we dive in, I just wanted to say a couple of words about myself. Welcome to the world of manifestation. My name is Irina Portnova, and I am here to show you how we can use the power of law of attraction and other universal laws in order to implement them into your business and how to actually attract the cash and clients that you desire. Because the universal laws act with the same precisions as the laws of mathematics. If we apply them correctly, they've got to work. It's the same thing with the law of electricity. If the electric wires are properly wired, they are going to produce the light. But if something is wrong, we got to figure out what is something that is missing. What is something that we are not doing in order to apply that into our strategy or our mindset or whatever we are doing in order to magnetize our clients, magnetize our people. Because again, there are people who are already looking for you. There are energies who are just willing to connect. If we are doing what we are doing, we are actually manifesting the specific people because people attract on our energy. There could be 10 other coaches, but whoever resonates with your energy, they are going to be attracted just to you. They want to learn from you. They want you to guide them. They want you to give them that life, that result that you promise through your coaching or through your healing. And that's exactly what we are going to dive deeper because we are talking about doing the work, right? Okay, if you are doing the work, if you are posting, if you are showing up, if you are creating, if you are learning and trying to stay consistent. So, what happens that it feels like something is still not fully clicking? And this is the part most coaches and healers and consultants are missing. Effort alone does not create the movement. Something has actually to connect in between because people don't move just because we shared something. They move when they feel seen, they move when they recognize themselves, they move when they trust that we understand their problem, and they move when they believe we can actually help them to receive exactly what they desire. And if that connection piece is missing, your audience can love you, they can watch you, they even agree with you, and still they're not going to move. And that's exactly what we are going to dive in today because I did not also figure out everything by myself. I always have my coaches, I always have my mentors by my side, and I also have my tribe. I also have my people where we are coming together and we are looking what is there something that we can shift, that we can tweak, because that's the beauty of running your own business. It's not like somebody just handing us the manual and we are looking through that, and then we say, okay, I'm just going to apply that strategy and poof, everything is going to work out exactly how I desire, right? That would be too easy. Otherwise, everybody would be business owners and everybody was making millions of dollars. But this is actually the journey. And this is a beautiful experience because you expand your consciousness. You start thinking differently. You are not looking at each time something doesn't work out. You are not looking that you are failing. You're looking that this is just the feedback. This is just the data for me to try something different so I can actually create different results, whatever you're doing, right? Because we all have that passion in our heart. We all have something that we have these gifts to share with the world. But if we cannot relate that through messaging, so people really can understand how exactly we help them, how to work with us. A lot of times it comes in the frustration because it seems like we are doing everything, but people are not buying from us. So let's take at the first thing. First thing is let's talk a little bit about connections, right? When do people connect with us? It has nothing to do with our certification. It has nothing to do with how much we actually know or how many modules our program has. They connect when they recognize the story that we are sharing with them and they see that, oh, I relate to that person. I was going through the same experience, right? They also connect with us if there is that emotional relevance, when they feel understood. So our audience actually desire to feel, oh my God, that's exactly what's happening to me. And that's the moment when that connection begins. So, for instance, if somebody is teaching people how to have self love, right? Nobody wakes up at the middle of the night and saying, oh my God, I have to work on my self love because this is so important. We have to give people the tangible outcome. Why is this important? Because if we are disconnected with ourselves, we might not understand what exactly we want in our life. And how is it going to show up for us? We are constantly relying on everybody's opinion. We a lot of time confused. Sometimes we are doing something against ourselves because we do not know how to say no to somebody. We are suffering in our love relationships because we feel like our partner takes us for granted, because it's not enough that we are just feeling that self-worth, right? That self-love, that ability to maintain our boundaries, to stand out. And how is it going to show up at work? That when promotion happens, they are passing you on, right? So now we talk to the people and they can relate. How is it actually applying to my daily experience? How is that applying to my life? And a lot of times in the space of coaching and healing, I hear a lot of times, I'm helping you to transform your life. So, what the heck is transform, right? We are using all these terms of limiting beliefs, and a lot of people do not even understand what these words mean. It's just like going to the doctor's office and they are writing the prescription. And we can't even figure out or put in the diagnosis, right? And we don't even understand. So, our job is to connect to the audience through these painting the vivid picture. What does it look for them like, right? So when we talk about self-love, for instance, when they wake up in the morning and everybody's pulling them in a different directions. Kids want the breakfast, the partner wants the t-shirt because he doesn't know where his t-shirt is, right? And you are so busy attending to everybody else that at the end of the moment everybody's gone, and you also rushing to your workplace and you forgot something, right? You forgot your phone, you forgot your keys, and then you feel frustrated. But again, these all things are really bringing people to the real experience. So connecting through the right messaging. Because if we do not have the right messaging, people just listen to us. They might say, okay, this is interesting, but I do not recognize myself in that. And that's why it becomes super, super important. So people connect to their experiences that they relate through our own stories. They connect when we bring them into the emotional moment, and the thing happening, like something that's in real life, something that we are actually sharing our own expertise, our experience, right? Because they say, okay, if that person went through that and they overcame that, this is my person, because I can see that I'm right now in the similar situation, right? Another great thing is why sometimes this doesn't click is when our message loses momentum. For instance, we are talking very broadly, or too polished, or we are talking too fast, or skip that emotional bridge. And that's exactly what happened, because once the person start leaning in, we go straight from the problem to the solution, and we are not actually walking through that bridge with them, right? So that's exactly what we want to continue bringing them, leaning on, listening, be more present, pausing, really taking, allowing them to take the information in, right? We are not jumping right away to our 12-step framework that help you to do X, Y, and Z, right? So we want to make sure that our message is not general. Our message is very specific, and we want to really take our time to go through these emotional steps. What are they actually experiencing, right? Because people do not need more information, people need more recognition. And that's when they recognize themselves in whatever we are sharing in our stories. That's when they are going to say, yes, this resonates with me. Yes, I'm interested. I'm leaning in and I'm starting to pay attention, right? And another great point is why the audience may be interested, but not yet moving. And this is a huge. Interest does not automatically guarantees the readiness. And it definitely does not mean that somebody trusts us. Because like I mentioned, someone can watch our content, someone love our content, someone watch every story, every piece what we are posting, attend the lives, read every email, and still not move yet. Not because that they do not want it, but because something internally hasn't clicked fully. And sometimes that missing thing is clarity. They might like us, but they don't fully understand what we do, or what changes, or why it matters for them now, right? A lot of times people are watching and say, oh, that's nice, but I might do it when my kids go to college, or when I have more money in the bank, or when I have more time for myself, right? And our job is to show them, why is this the priority right now, right? Why should you deal with that and receive the help now, not later? Because again, we want to show them what is it costing them if another year passes by, 2 years passes by, and they are still at the same place where they are. Maybe they're already sick of their job and they're ready to move for something different, but they're so scared to step into the on the path of creating their own economy, their own income. And that's where we want to really sit and explain and connect with them. Because again, most of us who are doing this work, we did decide to move in this path, although we had our guaranteed jobs, we had the security of our income before, right? And we still decided to move forward and do something that really ignites us. So now we want to talk from that experience. So another person look at us and say, yes, I can totally relate. She did make that leap, and so can I, right? So we want to make them safe. People are asking subconsciously, right? Will I feel seen here? Will I feel pressured? Will this actually support me? And that's why consistency matters so much, because our audience often moves after watching. We stay steady. So we showing up regardless, right? Whether we feel that something is happening or not, a lot of times things are happening on the background. And it doesn't mean that your work is not doesn't matter, but it means that continue fine tuning, continue asking what is something that's landing with the people. Watch for their reactions, watch for their comments, because they become the data. They become something that we can use going forward in order to tweak our content. And the most important thing is connection. When we are just talking at people, we are far away from them. But the connection happens whether we are inviting them into the Zoom room where we can connect with them live, or through on the consult, or through DM. This is where we get a chance to really understand what the person is going through, what is something that they are ready to change, and what is something missing for them in order to receive that change. And I just wanted to say that we all are meant for something big in this life, but everybody has, and again, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to tap to that. But my invitation to everyone who is listening, who is coach, healer, consultant, just understand that if something doesn't land, that means there is a missing piece. And that's why I created this powerful missing link to client flow quiz. Just take that quiz and see what comes up for you. Again, as long as we continue staying curious, continue discovering, continue exploring, and that's the beauty of this, because we become so much better through that journey. We become fearless. We feel that we can tackle any kind of obstacle that come our way, and we are welcoming any challenges, because you are meant to do this work. If you are listening to this live, you are meant to do this work. And I'm here to say this is your message from the universe. This is your sign. Continue doing, continue connecting with the people on a real level, because connection is something that people really opening up, and people trust us, and people want to work with us. So take that quiz and see where you are on your journey. Love you much, and I'll see you on the next episode next Friday. If you found this helpful, please share with somebody who is on the similar journey and who can benefit from it, because sharing is caring. All right, love you all, and see you next week.